Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the AC50B from Bluetti. Alright, when you first open the box, there's going to be a small box on top, and it is MC4 to XT60 cable, XT60 to your cigarette lighter adapter, and an AC plug. Underneath that is the user's manual, and then the Bluetti. Alright, let me tell you a little bit about this power station. The AC50B from Bluetti has 700 watt AC receptacles, which it can actually power up to 1,000 watts, and it has 448 watt hours of lithium iron phosphate batteries inside. To charge the unit, you can either use the DC input, which can accept between 12 and 28 volts, and that would be a max of 8.5 amps, which will give you a maximum input of 200 watts. With this plug, you'll be using either your XT60 to MC4 cable, or if you want to charge it in your car, you can use the XT60 to cigarette lighter plug. The other input that you have is on the side here, and it is your regular AC outlet, which you'll be using this cord right here. All right, back to the front. Right here we have our DC out port for 12 volt 10 amp devices. Something you could use this for is maybe a portable refrigerator or even a vacuum cleaner. Also, you have 3 USB ports. You have 2 USB-C ports, which are powered up to 65 watts. And you also have your USB-A port, which can power up to 15 watts. On the AC side, we have 2 receptacles, which can power up to 700 watts. And if you have power lifting turned on, you can power resistive loads from 700 to 1,000 watts. As for the AC side, there are 3 separate levels of charging that you can choose from. There is silent, standard, and turbo. On silent, it will charge at a rate of 108 watts. On standard, which is the default, it will charge at a rate of 270 watts. And if you select turbo, it can charge at a whopping 580 watts, which can charge this entire unit from 0 to 80% in 45 minutes and completely full in 70 minutes. When it comes to the dimensions and weight of this unit, it is 11 inches across by 8.7 inches tall, and it's 7.9 inches deep, and it only weighs 16.5 pounds. Alright, now is the time when we start testing the Bluetti. First, we're going to go ahead and do a DC capacity test, and then we're going to do an AC capacity test to see how efficient this unit is. And once we get done with that, we'll just start testing all the ports to make sure that we can actually get our 700 watts, make sure that we can pull 65 watts from the USBs, just stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, the DC capacity test is done for the Bluetti, and the results are 410 watt hours. Now, if you divide that by the 448 total capacity of the Bluetti, you get a 91.5% efficiency rate on the DC side. That is excellent. And this test was a 5 amp test. So let's go ahead and find out what the AC efficiency is. Alright, the AC test is done and it is starting to charge back up. So let's go ahead and turn the AC on. Alright, and the meter shows that we had 0.34188 kilowatt hours. So that's 341.88 watt hours. And if you divide 341 by 448, you get 76.11% efficiency on the AC side. So I'm going to go ahead and charge this back up, and we're going to do some high wattage testing on the AC and DC sides. Alright, with this test we're going to go ahead and check the DC output for the cigarette lighter adapter. And what I'm going to use is this vacuum. It can surge up to 10 or 11 amps, and then it keeps like a constant 8 amps. So it pulls right around 100 watts. And this port is regulated, so I don't doubt that it will be able to power it, but I do want to see what the max draw in amperage will be. So let's go ahead and do that now. I've got this set on max, so we're going to go ahead and see what the max draw is. Ready, go. And as you can see, the max draw was 11.62 amps out of the DC port, which is only a 12 volt 10 amp port. So that definitely passed that test. All right, with this next test, I have a USB-C cord going from the Bluetti to this Juice Go by Bouge RV. And this can accept up to 100 watts on the USB-C side. And you can see that the Bluetti is giving it 61 watts. So 61 watts out of the 65 that it says it can do. All right, well, this next test is for the AC side of the Bluetti. And what we're gonna first do is we're gonna go ahead and just power up this New Wave induction cooktop at 600 watts, just to make sure it can run it for a little bit. I'll say 5 minutes. And then we're gonna go ahead and see how high we can power this. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on the Bluetti. Turn on the AC. The New Wave should kick on. Go ahead and set it for 600 watts. Medium high, start. It's showing our output at 637 watts. All right, while the Bluetti is running this load, let's go ahead and open up the app and I'll show you what that's all about. All right, in the manual, it does have a QR code to be able to download the app, or you could probably just go to your Play Store and do a search on Bluetti and you should be able to find it quite easily. After you get it installed, this is the screen that you'll see. Now, I kind of like the offline mode. That makes it so you could just log right into the item and not have to worry about anything else. So let's just go ahead and do that. Offline mode. The next thing it's going to do is give you a list of all the Bluetooth items that it sees around you. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on the AC50B. That's the third one down. And then it brings you up with this screen right here. And this screen pretty much is everything that you need to be able to control the Bluetti remotely. You can see that on the AC side, we're taking 631 watts away from the unit. And then everything else, like production would be from your solar. Grid would be if it's plugged in to the AC side over here. And then DC output is your ports and your USB ports. Underneath that, you can see toggle switches for turning your DC and AC on and off. And then there's pack underneath, and I'm not really sure what that's for, but I'm guessing that if you have the external battery connected to this, it will show up in this pack option right here under group. If you hit the little setting symbol on the top right, here are your settings that you can adjust to whatever you'd like. The charging mode, you can either do standard, turbo, or silent. Standard charges at like 270 watts. Turbo charges at 580 watts. And then silent will charge at 108 watts. So if you want this thing to charge up real fast, select that turbo mode and you'll be good to go. Power lifting is if you want to power resistive loads more than 700 watts. So right now we're doing 600, we're doing 630 right now. And if we turn on this little 200 watt heater, I bet after about 30 seconds, the whole unit will shut off. So let's go ahead and do that and see what happens. We're doing 628 watts. Turn this heater on, now it's at 738, 762, 787, 800, 850, it is powering it. 886, 900, and then the unit shuts off. So yeah, it was right around 20 to 30 seconds before the unit's like, nah, I don't think so. And then if it does do this, all you have to do is press this AC button to turn off the AC, and then you can just turn it right back on. So let's turn this off, turn the AC back on, and everything turns back on. So let's go ahead and set this back to 600. Turn it on. And now we're going to turn on power lifting and see if it will actually run it. So power lifting is on. Turn this heater on. But look, if you have power lifting on, the New Wave does not like it at all, because what it does is it lowers the voltage and increases the amperage, so that way it can power more devices. See, if we turn this heater off, if we turn the heater off, we're back below that 700 watts, so the New Wave is totally fine again. We also have Eco Mode, and Eco Mode gives you options on how long you want the unit to stay on when there are certain conditions on either the AC or the DC side. Like for instance, on the AC side, after 4 hours, if the unit does not sense more than 10 watts, it will go ahead and shut the AC side off. And you can see that on the DC side as well. And then there's also the auto sleep. And the auto sleep button is, if you don't have anything on there, it will automatically turn itself off after 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, or you can actually pick never. And then if you go under advanced settings, you will see that the AC output frequency is 60 Hertz, and there is such thing as grid self-adaptation. Now, if you hit the little question mark, it tells you what it is. And it says the system can charge normally even when the voltage on an electrical grid is unstable due to voltage spikes, drops, or other instabilities. Now, that's very helpful as when you have this plugged into like a generator, something like that. All right, and we're already down to 64% because we've been powering 628 watts for the last 5 to 7 minutes, something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off, because I believe this Bluetti has powered everything that I've wanted it to without incident. Now, just for a little bit of fun, I went ahead and made like a commercial, I guess you could say. And believe me, I'm not an actor or into production, so this commercial is kind of garbage, but it was a lot of fun doing. And what I wanted to show was just a very simple way of being able to use the Bluetti when you're trying to just be comfortable in your backyard. So take a look. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I spent a lot of money on it, so I hope you did. All right, well, anyway, with this Bluetti, when it comes to something that's really portable and it can power up to 700 watts of AC and actually up to 1,000 if you have resistive loads. You can also power up to 65 watts from the power delivery ports, and the DC cigarette lighter port can easily do 12 volts at 10 amps. I pushed it over 11.5 amps without any problem. And also when it comes to charging, I mean, you can charge up to 200 watts with a solar panel using this XT60, or if you're gonna be just plugging it into the wall, you can charge this thing up in, you can get it 0 to 80 in 45 minutes, or 0 to 100 in 70 minutes. So this thing, it charges up super fast. You actually have a lot of power, and it's really portable. Some of the things that it does not include are you won't find any barrel plugs on the DC side, so don't be looking for your 5521s. And also, if you're the type of person that loves wireless charging, this does not have that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about the Bluetti AC50B, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll go ahead and have a link to this item in my description just in case you want to look further into it. Thank you so much for watching this video and have a great day. Bye-bye.